Minutes after 10, I'll call the Community Services Committee meeting to order. Councilor Snell, would you do the invocation for us today, please?
Rise, please.
Is that Kara?
Kara?
Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, come to you today, Lord. Praise your name, Lord, start. And Lord Jesus, be with us as we go through these meetings today. And help us as we proceed in our daily walk with you today, Lord. And thank you for this beautiful late winter day you provided for us. And we ask you again, Lord, to be with us as we go through the meetings. We'll give you all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Kelly, would you do the roll, please?
Arlie Buzzard.
Here.
Chris Stokes.
Here.
Bill England.
Arlie.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates. Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Hannah Glory Jordan. Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton. Kara Callahan. Albany. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. I want to welcome everybody out to the committee meeting this morning and appreciate you coming in and get starting on time so we can get this on the agenda and get to the next meeting. But I do see a person or two in the audience that's new to us. And if you haven't been here before, the guy in the yellow shirt, would you introduce yourself? I think we know everyone else here.
Yeah, Mark Vance.
Mark Vance, thank you. Anybody else out in the audience that hadn't been here before or would like to introduce themselves? I think we know everybody else. Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the February the 15th regular session. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. I want to welcome people out in Cherokee Nation, 14 county jurisdictions, and other places to our committee meeting this morning. So we're going to move right along with the agenda. So we'll start with the report from the Human Service Department of Norma Merriman. Norman's not here this morning, so Alice is going to do it for us.
Norma couldn't be here. She sends her regrets. I'm here, though, to answer any questions you have about the report.
All right. Anybody got any questions for Dallas? Dallas, is there anything going on that you may have left off the report that you want to tell us about? Any upcoming events?
I spoke with Mr. Snell this morning, Jerry Snell, and he said that LIHEAP Crisis has been reopened. It's effective on March 2nd. It's going to go all the way through March, maybe a little bit into April. They're going to keep it open until they've got some left to leave for summer cooling. They'll close it, open it back up for summer. And then the other thing he wants to announce is that Cherokee Nation will host the 24th Annual Food Distribution Conference. It'll be in Catoosa, June 5th through 10th, and he's invited all of you to attend at least the opening ceremonies. There'll be more information coming out on that soon.
Good. If you could send that over to Shelley or Gail, and they'll put it on the councilor's calendar too, down there.
Sure will.
Mr. Becker had a question, sir.
Yeah, under your child support services and the distribution of clothing for kids, you're trying to get it down to one vendor again. Is that what's happening?
Yes, it's open for bid.
Okay. And is Walmart bidding or not bidding, or?
I don't know who's bidding.
Yeah. But there's no way we could let the people choose where they like to go with the credit card or some other method?
We've looked into that in the past. It creates a lot of overhead that we just don't have in our budget. So the Creek Nation does it that way, but the Creek Nation is a lot smaller tribe. They have employees that work year-round on just their clothing voucher program, but they do send out, I think they're gift cards. They're Visa gift cards that can be spent at any store. And the parents have the responsibility of mailing back a receipt, filling out the application again for the continuing year. But again, that creates employees that we haven't budgeted.
Okay.
Councilor Fishinghawk.
Yeah, Dells, I have a question. I had a young man. His father was in arthritis. His mother passed away due to problems. Him and his sister had health problems. He's got a a godparent. The godparent is a young guy about my age, a little younger. He is on a check himself too because of disability. The boy is putting himself through school in Tulsa, if you can remember some of this.
Yeah, I remember. I worked about 2 days on this.
We couldn't help him with any kind of housing. We couldn't help him with medical, which was okay because of his problems. At least the government picks up all the medical bills. We couldn't help him with schooling. We couldn't help him with food. We couldn't help him with rent. We couldn't help him with clothing. There was nothing we could provide for this gentleman. Can you tell the committee why?
He lives outside the jurisdiction, is not willing to live within it. That's why.
Okay, he signed, I know that he talked to you all back and forth, and he's willing, as soon as this rental, he'd come to us for rental assistance while he was going to school, and we were out, told him we were out. At the last minute, they had several fundraisers, scraped enough money together to put him in a house, and now they're having to sign papers. They had signed papers for so long, and he's willing to move into the district as soon as the rental is up.
Okay.
The problem being, it was his understanding when we went through it all, even when he moves inside the district, we're still not going to help him.
That's not my understanding at all. When I looked into this, the reason we were not able to help him was because he found an apartment that he wanted to live in at about 53rd and Memorial, which, as you know, is outside our jurisdiction. I talked with them extensively about living within our jurisdiction, and they said, no, we've already paid a deposit, we like this place, we're going to go there. And so until they were willing to move inside our jurisdiction, there was nothing left that I could do. Now, at that time, they said they had no interest of living within the jurisdiction, so I can't speak to anything
Okay,
past
here's my
that.
question. I talked to him, and he said he will move into the district.
Then I'd encourage him to call me back and let me work on it some more.
Okay, so yeah, but here's the thing. When I tell him, okay, you can move inside the district, and we can help you, I'm not going to be lying to him. I'm going to tell him to move in here, and you all will help him.
I can't tell you that until we can look at his application, and he's not applied for our
You've got everything.
services.
He's talked to you all. Can you all not give it a best guess estimate before I tell him this?
I haven't memorized his application or his qualifications.
Well, would you
and
go
I don't-
back and look at it and then give me a call? Because I hate to tell him, yeah, break your lease, come on down, we'll help you, and then you all say, okay, no. Because the reason here's my problem, Dallas, I'm not trying to pick on you, but the reason is you all just said it's because you don't live inside his district. Well, we're getting ready to fix that problem. But then I don't want you saying, well, yeah, but you moved in here, but we didn't realize this.
Counselor, I don't know if he's otherwise
You know,
eligible.
that's
We'd have
what
to
I'm
just
saying.
check that out.
Can you go back and check on that? Because I hate to tell him, yeah, move in. Because, I mean, that's just what you said. The reason we can't help him is he's outside the district.
Well, that was the first stumbling block. That was the first impediment. There may be others in the future
you
that we
look
don't know
into
yet,
it?
but until he applies, I can't tell for
Okay,
sure.
I know, but he can't apply because he ain't registered.
And the last time I talked to him, he was not willing to move inside. So, yeah, let's talk some more.
Okay, because we need to get this, I mean, you all got in a catch-22, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying the government over there has got in a catch-22.
Well, with all due respect, about 4 different departments worked for about 2 days to try to resolve this guy's situation, and there was not much we could do, and it's not necessarily just because we didn't want to.
Okay, I got another question then.
Okay.
There's a young girl coming to you all. She's talked to you all before. She was in a very abusive relationship, I know, for 10 years. The father abused her and the kids. She's out of it. She went down there to get help. Matter of fact, we found a job that was open that you all had, and we sent her to it. And she went down there to get help from you all and maybe from housing, but she owed housing like $108. So they said, no, we're not going to help you. Matter of fact, I think it was, she's not quite sure, I'm not David about that. Then she went down to you all to get help, and you all told her no too. And what I need to know is, can I send you her name? And you all look into it, because I told her 2 or 3 things to ask you all, and she asked everything I thought of. And you're still telling her no, but this is a girl that, like I said, she's been abused the last 10 years, her and the kids.
Absolutely,
And I'm wanting to
Counselor.
help her.
Send me her name, and I'll do my best to find out what's going on. Now, I'll know in the past, and I think David can support this, we've set up payment plans for those folks who have outstanding debt to the Housing Authority, so that they pay, I don't know, $25 a month or something, and that takes care of that debt while we also serve them through a new program. So those things have been resolved in the past. I'd have to look at the specific circumstances for this client to give you a better answer.
Who do I need to send her to specifically?
Send her to me.
Okay. I will do. Thank you.
Okay?
Any more questions for... Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Community Services with Charlie Soap. I see Charlie just arrived.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Fine.
Questions?
Got a question, Sheriff. Right.
The homes that we're building in Sequoia County, the Redbird, how much do we have in those houses?
How many what?
What are those houses costing?
I couldn't give you the exact amount right now because we're not done yet, John. We're still in the process of building.
You know where we're at now?
In terms of numbers,
Per house or a total?
I could probably get it for you.
Okay, if you could. Just curious what we're having in those houses. Of the total project cost, and then we can divide it by the houses and figure out the percentages that are not complete and yada, yada, yada. But
And we can get that to you.
Mr. Garvin, you had a question?
Yeah, I want to thank Charlie especially for helping this community down in my district, Oak Grove Baptist Church, and they had a furnace that wasn't working, and Charlie donated his time and helped us with the fundraiser. We had some real good hog fry and good turnout, and I think they got enough to place the furnace.
Yeah, we got word they used it. They've been using it, so it was a good event. Good
Thanks for helping out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Quite
A lot of people helped out, so thank you.
Ms. Coates, you had a question or comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to commend your staff in CATA for the achievement of finally getting the approval on the 501c3 for the Cherokee Nation Community Association. For those who don't know, this is only the second nonprofit corporation established under the tribe, with the Cherokee Nation Education Corporation being the first. But this has been a long time coming, a couple of years that they've been working on it, and it has just been approved, and we're very pleased. So congratulations and thanks to them for their stamina on this.
It's an effort on several staff members, so they did a good job along with the committee, so it was good. Thank you for all your support.
Mr. Baker.
Yeah, and Charlie, I was at Oak Grove as well, and it was really a nice event. And did all the employees that went to donate their time as well?
Did all the employees? Sure. They donated their
Everybody
time.
donated their time that Saturday.
Yeah.
And
we don't get paid for overtime.
okay.
They donate their time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie, I had a couple of questions for you. One, where is this ED Atchison Community Building located?
You got mileage.
I'm trying to ask a question here. Where is D.D. Atchison Community Building located?
You know where that nursing home is over here? By the Methodist, I think where's that? Bill, where's that at?
It's by the Methodist home. If you go to the north entrance of the Methodist home and turn right, I can't tell you what that street is, but it's down there about less than a half a block on the left. It's the old Methodist church. D.D. Atchison Methodist.
And the other question I had, Charlie, is I know I've asked you the last meeting or two about those water treatment plants. Are we still on top of that? Because I know the leach water line is basically complete other than the self-help stuff. So I think we're going to have that treatment plant online before we can actually start furnishing water to that. And I just want to make sure we keep on top of that.
My knowledge, Harley, I think we're okay. It's back to the tribe, but it's just the paperwork that's got to be done.
Because I know it's going to take some time to bring that up to standard after we put it in. So I want to make sure we have that ready to go as soon as we get the water line completed.
We'll be ready to go.
So
We'll be ready.
if you check on it for me, I'd appreciate it. Ms. Lord.
Yes. Charlie, on that Pigeon home in District 1, Cherokee County, it says there's some title work near completion. Do you recall what that was?
I sure didn't, but I can find out what it is. Pigeon?
Pigeon. If you would, I'd sure appreciate it if you'd give me an email on
Do
that.
that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions for Charlie? Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Next up is Roads and Transportation with Michael Lynn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Again, you have our report as well, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you have about it.
Ms. Fisher.
Is everything progressing okay with the mayor road?
I have
Everybody
not heard.
working together?
I've not heard any more on it other than what was approved by the executive finance for the contribution to that project. I can follow up with the commissioner and find out what's going on that.
Okay.
But I've not heard anything more since we've made the contribution.
Thank you.
Councilor Cobb.
Signs on, this may be a public comment section question, but I know the bridge is west of Ramona, 2 sections west of Ramona, still looking at signs. Are we good on signs on something?
We've got some signs. We've got them on order. I mean, we've got them in. We've had them on order for a long time. We got them in. We had some installed up in Buell's area, Councilor Anglin's area, and I've not been by to see them after they were installed, but I understand that the lettering on there is too small, and I wanted to let Councilor Anglin know, and Councilor Watts has also asked about it as well, that we are working with the sign company to put a replacement, I'm not sure what covering or vinyl on top of the lettering that's there to try to upsize the lettering. It is too small. We had those signs designed by Cherokee Nation Communications Department, assisted us with the design on it, and when we placed the order, they looked good on paper, but when they came in, they were awful small. Once we got them up the size they needed to be, so we're working with a sign company. We've already made contact with them, and they think they can just give us a new sheet of vinyl for that top portion and resize the lettering up there, and hopefully make them stand out a little bit better. That doesn't really answer your question. I kind of gave a two-part answer to that. We can get some signs for that bridge up there at Ramona once we get them straightened out.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Coburn.
Yes, thank you. I think last month you said there had been a problem with the contract on our road from High Cut north over to the county line. Has that been let again, or there any progress been made? Or
It has not been let again. The Attorney General's office is reviewing, along with the Self-Governance Office and my department are all working together to review to make sure that the termination of this contract is not putting the funds in jeopardy. We're working with Federal Highway Administration and their General Counsel on getting an answer on that. A termination letter was sent to the contractor. The contractor sent back a...
Mr. Chairman?
Just a minute, Ms. Cowan.
It's not really an appeal, but they sent back some questions regarding the termination. They have not officially appealed the termination yet. So that before the questions are answered to their... before a response is given to their questions, we're making sure that none of the funds are being placed into jeopardy by terminating this contract. So to answer your question, no, it hasn't been re-advertised, but it's anticipated to be re-advertised.
well, I'm kind of wondering what's going on. I've been over there a couple of times recently. I saw activity over there and huge concrete bridge tiles. Are they still progressing? Are they doing something over there? I mean,
They should not be.
who would be doing this? I mean, just a few days ago.
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't been through there in quite some time. I'll check into it, but they should not be working over there.
Well, you know, that along the edge of the road, they had all these huge tiles, like to replace a bridge. Like they were probably 12 foot in diameter, and I just saw several things going on over there, and that made me wonder.
Okay. I'll look into that because they should not be delivering any material or working on the project.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, are those stimulus funds that she's talking about? Or
Yes, they are.
They are stimulus funds. Kara, I have two people ahead of you, then I will get to you.
Thank you.
Councilor Thornton.
Michael, here in the last few days, I've had a couple of constituents contact me about a bridge that is in bad shape, and it's over in the Nachitown area,
Okay.
and it has to do with that there by that new road that they put in, you know, over to the river.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, I'd like to get with the county commissioner on that and try to get with you all
Okay.
and see if we can set aside some funds in the future to work on that bridge.
I'll contact the commissioner on that and see if he's got any plans or what he's,
Okay, if
He's
he
got
needs
anything
to know
scheduled?
what bridge, just tell him to get a hold of me.
okay. All right.
I'll probably
I think I
talk
know
to
what,
him too.
I'm sorry?
I'll probably talk to him too.
Okay. I think I know what bridge you're talking about,
Okay,
so.
I appreciate it.
And I'll be working on you a response, you and Councilor Fulbright, on the lady around Muldrow. I think that
Yeah.
contacted you all via email, so I'm working on
I
working on
drove
that.
that road down there, and from Muldrow, probably over halfway down to where she lives, it's in good shape.
Okay.
But from there south, it's potholes and
Okay.
got a lot of problems with it.
Okay,
And I think it's a major minor.
I'm sorry?
I think it's a major minor.
Okay.
Road. I think it's just that check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilor Cobb, you had a follow-up?
Wanted to ask also, I forgot, County Commissioner in Washington County mentioned, and I don't think they've really done any amount of traffic survey, but, and I always forget the road number, we always go on Candy Creek, goes straight out of Ramona.
Yes.
And he said that they have a sneaking suspicion that the traffic is really increasing on that because of the casino. And since they're going to be building the new casino, he expects that to be even more. And that was an IRR inventory. And the last list I looked at, I missed, was it on there?
It's on the
It
inventory.
is still on there, okay.
Yeah, it's on the inventory, and it won't go off the inventory. It hasn't been prioritized for construction.
Right.
And we do have counts before the casino was built. We can always recount that and use that as kind of as our benchmark to see if there's any increases or decreases.
It might be good to look at it because I have a sneaking suspicion in a couple of years that's going to get a little crazier. But my question ultimately was it still in inventory? And
Yeah.
so, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Watts, you're on.
Thank you. Michael, do you have any updates on the signage working with ODOT for the Claremore Indian Hospital?
I do not, Councilor Watts. Last conversation I had was with Randall White, the division engineer out of Owasso for Division 8 of ODOT, and he was to check on some of the things that you and I had talked about and get back with me on that. One of those items being the comparison between these clinics and the Veterans Hospital that you and I had the conversation about. I'll follow up with him.
Okay, so would it be possible to include in writing in your monthly report until it's completed?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Gore Jordan.
Yes, Michael, on that Lost City Road, I see where Holloway has been selected as the engineer. Would it cost much more for them to engineer from Albert to the 3 miles where you're going to start the road? Would that be a possibility too?
I mean, certainly anything's a possibility, and as far as cost goes, I really can't answer that.
My concern is we're starting 3 miles into the road and we're ending 2 miles before we get anywhere. So basically, we're just doing the middle. We're going nowhere to nowhere. You see what I'm saying? We're not at a starting point on that road, and we're not going to the ending point on that road. And I'm still wondering why we're doing that. And people are wondering why we're doing that. Because the beginning point and the ending point also need something done to them. And it just doesn't make any sense to start where we're starting and stop where we're stopping. Because it's not getting us from one place to the other. It's not getting us from the start to the end. So I'm still, and I'm going to ask every month until we can somehow get it resolved. It just seems like we need to start where the road begins.
It is beginning at the end of 2 of our projects.
Right.
Red Barn Road as well as the Grace Hudlin project. In the section that we are building covers a majority, if not all, of those low water slabs. There's numerous low water slabs that drive through, you have
Yeah,
to
and
drive
you
through
won't
to
have
get
to
through
do
there.
any slabs in the first 3 miles.
I realize that, but I'm saying though that the section that we do have scheduled to build is going to take care of a lot of the drainage issues that those folks have to deal with every time it rains. I mean, we're not doing that middle section for no reason. We're addressing some huge drainage issues in there.
But first, they've got to get there, and that's the first 3 miles.
But
And the bus runs, all of your major traffic is right there in that first 3 miles. And we've discussed this about the number of Cherokee people that are in that first 3 miles. I'm very aware that there's not restricted property in that first 3 miles, but of all the houses on that road in the first 3 miles, there's only one non-Indian family. The rest of them are Cherokee families. And I just don't understand why we cannot go back and pick up that first 3 miles, especially since we're not doing the road over at Pumpkin Hollow as we thought we were going to do. I mean, we took off, what, 8 miles there?
Nearly 8 miles, yes ma'am.
I think we reduced that down to a 1 mile.
About 3/4 of a mile.
3/4 of a mile. So the folks over on the other end of the county won't it. If you guys don't want it on your end, we want it on the other end.
Okay.
Would you look into
Yes,
it
ma'am.
and see?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as the engineering, I don't see any low water in that area. But all your traffic's going to come or go to the point of beginning. And it just seems like if we're going to produce a road, we ought to start there.
Okay, I'll look
Thank you.
into it, yes ma'am.
And I think the council makes a very good point, Michael, and I think we also have a road like that up in Delaware County where it stops and has no end to it. So I would think that we probably need to make some adjustments on our rating system to give those points to that, especially if we're going to build a road into it. And the one I'm talking about is, you know the name of Michael?
No, I don't. I was going to ask.
Where's it located?
Right there by that smoke shop, goes north there. You know, ticket to Barnett Smoke Shop that goes north.
Is it,
That's Waytown Road.
Daytown Road.
okay, we're calling that Kansas Bull Hollow. That's what I believe what we're calling it there. It's actually labeled on the highways Daytown Road, so I know what you're talking about.
But
And
I
that
think the
does-
same point that Miss Jordan is talking about. The road goes about 7 or 8 miles and just stops. If we went another 3/4 of a mile, then you could connect that road back into Daytown Dry Creek Road. It makes sense to look at that stuff. So take a look at that on your rating system and see if something can be done. But what she's saying is a valid point. You know, and I realize what you're doing. The drainage problem like that needs to be addressed because it is a safety hazard in there. But anyway, just a comment. Take a look at that.
I mean, and both of these projects, the one in Delaware County and the one in Cherokee County, are not just stopping in the middle of the road. I mean, they're actually stopping at intersections. The one Councilor Buzzard's referring to does stop at a T.
Yes.
It's got a T intersection at the end of it. It doesn't go north. You have to go east or west. So we're not just stopping it in the middle of the project. There's a reason for the ending point on both of these. Councilor Jordan's project that she's referring to does stop on the north end at an intersection as well. So it's not like we're just picking a point and stopping.
Yeah, I think the point that she was making, though, is our Indian folks have to travel up 3 miles before they get on a good IRR road. And, you know, to me, that's what we're trying to do, is just make it all improvements. So.
Okay, I'll look into both of those
Sure.
issues.
Appreciate it. Councilor, you had a question?
Mr.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for Michael? Michael, thank you. I know we're always have on the agenda the public comments for Michael. I see none. If there are some, let it be known at this time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Housing Services with David Sutherland.
Start with disclosures for the month. We got Tracy Hebel, covering the board poteet who's one of our employees. Dayla Kelly is getting mortgage assistance. Her mother is Diane Kelly. I don't know if she would really want us to talk about that, but I had to disclose that. Next board meeting, I think I mentioned it last night in the reports, the April 19th at noon. April meeting. On my report, there's a large number of mortgage assistance foreclosures. That's actually 2 months because of timing and things. I didn't get the January last month added, so that is actually January and February's number. I'd mentioned possibility of getting some FEMA mobile homes. We've had that information from HUD. We're going to get 4. So not nearly, we asked for 50, we're getting 4. So that didn't work out very well. The possibility of working with Cookson Hills Community Action, that's at this point dead. We can't get in touch with them. We've heard rumors that Little Dixie, maybe, is now operating theirs program. I don't know. I'm bringing this up. If there's anybody here that can help me get in touch with them, because we've had no luck. I don't even know if the Wayne Bailey is still their attorney. I do not know that. But any assistance I can get, please help me out on that.
Ms. Fishing.
I'll give you a number to call afterwards, and I thought Wayne stepped down.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but I think Wayne did.
We're still really interested in those. We got to the part, we even inspected several of them. And,
I'll give you a number, a couple of board members
okay.
to call them, because
That'd be
I
great.
had just talked to them the other day, and they're still interested in, they said something about, since we're considered nonprofit, and they are too, they was more or less interested in you all, them getting the money back, moving them down here, and then signing the assets over to us, which is the trailers.
Yeah. Well, we're sure
And there's
interested in them.
180 of one kind and 120 of the little ones. There's a little over 300 of them, I think.
Yeah, I know there was over 100 of the ones we were really interested in. So,
But that's what they said they was wanting to do last time I talked to them, is to sign the assets over.
well, I'll be happy to visit with you.
Okay.
That's all I have to report.
Jordan.
David, could you next time, I don't care whether it's in your report or in a separate report, could you give us a complete listing of every foreclosure, even the ones that are done, and what money we've lost on those foreclosures?
Since we've been reporting.
I think we've got that.
Okay, if you would.
Well, I say that. It goes back to a certain period.
Okay.
It doesn't go back forever, but
If you could just go to the period that you
Yeah.
can, I just kind of am wondering money-wise where we're at. Thank you all. And if,
Go ahead.
it doesn't have to be in this report, if it could just be done separately,
Okay.
that'd be fine too.
no problem.
David, I may have asked this question before, but I guess it's getting more concerning to me about foreclosures on existing homes.
I'm sorry, on which one?
I'm getting more and more concerned about the foreclosures on the MAP program. But I'm wondering, what are we seeing, what is the problem? Are we making these applications or loans to people that they can't afford it? I know Anna or Shay may have that answer, but what's the trend? What seems to be happening?
I would defer to them. I don't see those,
Yes.
so I couldn't really tell you what.
And I'll get to them when they
Okay.
come up and talk, but the other thing is, and you may not know this either, but what are we doing with those homes? Are we just letting them go to the banks, or?
Well,
I guess if they're foreclosed, that's
one
what
of the things that we don't follow up on this report, because it happens some. I know it happened just recently, where one of these was dismissed, where the lender and the folks worked it out, going to give them another shot. There was one come through this week that had been dismissed. I don't even know from what time period. But as far as looking at the homes, the board at the Housing Authority has approved where if we see one we want to invest in, we can do that. So that's what we're doing to try to pick up on them. But there are some that actually work it out. I don't know if I answered your question or not, but we are looking at those to see if we can pick them up at a good price, and they don't have too much renovation work that needs to be done, to where we can put somebody back in at a reasonable cost.
Okay. Any more questions for David? Anything else, David, you got?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Next is Commerce Housing Report with Anna. Kay, you're going to be doing that?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'll start off by addressing some of the questions
Sure.
that were just asked. And first of all, just to talk about what we're doing to address the foreclosure rate. First of all, if you'll notice on the foreclosure report, we are reporting at what point people received the mortgage assistance, because in May of 2008, that's when the Cherokee Nation started operating the mortgage assistance program. At that time, we implemented several new guidelines and measures to hopefully reduce the rate of foreclosure for those mortgage assistance recipients. In the past, what happened was if the individual came forward, they met the eligibility guidelines, and they had a loan from a lender, they were eligible for mortgage assistance. And in May of 2008, we said, whoa, we're not doing that anymore. That's not okay. We now have guidelines in place that we look at debt-to-income ratio. We look at any outstanding debt. We look at things that aren't necessarily reported on a credit report, so if they maybe have a loan with a little finance company, or if they have kind of non-traditional credit they may owe other people. We're looking at the whole financial picture for these individuals, and if you'll look on that foreclosure rate, almost all of those individuals have received mortgage assistance before we started analyzing the entire financial picture. What we'll present to you next month is the foreclosure rate for mortgage assistance recipients since May of 2008, since all those guidelines have been implemented, so that you can see the impact that the more in-depth approach is having. I think that you'll be happy. I think you'll be surprised. But anyway, and the other thing that we're noting on those reports is families who have received self-sufficiency counseling. No one who, at this point, I hate to say never, and I hate to say it because then next month it'll come back to bite me, but at this point, no one who has completed the self-sufficiency process and purchased a home has been foreclosed on. And I think that speaks volumes for the amount of education and the quality of counseling and the information that families are receiving in that process. So,
And I want to comment about that,
Okay.
Shay, and I think you're absolutely right, because I know when you start a new program up like that, you're going to have some things that we're not familiar with those, and it takes a while. I understand that. And I'm glad to hear you say that after you did these implementations that things have stopped. That's good. I'm sure something's going to happen yet, but it's kind of like some of these USDA loans that were made to these poultry farmers. They were guaranteed 100% loans, and those bankers were loaning money probably $100,000 more than the farm was worth, because they knew they were going to get the dollar. So I see where you're coming from. So I appreciate the fact that you've looked the program over and you went back and made those adjustments to it. And I guarantee that we're going to see the difference because of the things you've implemented. So those are good words I'm hearing. So thank you.
I also just want to note a couple of, there have been a few, and I want to say maybe 3 or 4, don't quote me on that, it's in the report, but there have been maybe 3 or 4 people who have received mortgage assistance since May of 2008 when we took over the program who have been foreclosed on. They weren't people who completed self-sufficiency counseling, but what we've done with those folks is we've gone back, pulled out their file, looked to see what was their debt-to-income ratio whenever we approved it. Was there anything glaring that maybe we should have caught? We've contacted those families to find out what happened. And in most of those situations, there's been a household change, so divorce or a separation that has caused a major financial setback, or there's been job loss. So of the folks who have received mortgage assistance since we took over the program in May 2008 who have been foreclosed on, it's not because they just couldn't afford the payment anymore. It was because of a major life-altering event that caused the foreclosure. So,
Councilor Cobb, you had a comment or a question?
Shay answered my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Baker.
Yeah, Shay. Just looking at your report, got a couple of 3 questions. The goal for 2010 is to do 300 mortgage assistance, and we've done 45 in 6 months.
that would have been at the end of February, yes. And at the same time, you should keep in mind that this is a slow period we're picking up, and so we anticipate meeting that goal.
You did anticipate?
We do anticipate meeting the goal, yes.
And under B, it says program to date, 297 families unable to obtain non-predatory mortgage on their own have completed self-sufficiency counseling, and obtain non-predatory mortgage. Does that mean this year, or?
No, that means since May of 2008, since the self-sufficiency counseling program was implemented. Folks who have completed the full realm of self-sufficiency counseling, because not everyone who, as you know, enters the mortgage assistance program completes self-sufficiency counseling, or they may start it, and in the midst of self-sufficiency counseling, we may feel like there's still some work to be done, but they're able to get a loan, and a loan that meets our guidelines, so they go ahead and move forward.
Since 2008, how many families have we helped with mortgage assistance?
750, is that what I told you yesterday? 750.
Okay, so we're not doing 300 a year.
Well, since May of 2008, so that would have been a few months in 2008. We've been doing close to 300 a year.
Thank you.
Councilor Scope, I believe you had a question or comment.
Yeah, Shay, could you refresh my memory on the eligibility for the MAP program? Say a candidate comes and they're complete the program, they're eligible, they get the assistance. When are they eligible again for any future assistance? Is it a once in a lifetime program, or how does that work? Because some people are asking questions about they were eligible through I guess maybe the housing authority. Is that a different program, or is that actually the same? How do you guys view that, or how's that categorized?
Yeah, one time. If they receive mortgage assistance at all, it's a lifetime benefit. If something happens, we've had a few clients who, for different reasons, paid back the full amount of mortgage assistance they received. They would then be eligible for the assistance again. I think we had one person whose property was condemned, there was a sale. We've had someone, I don't know, I think maybe like the city of Stillwell took over someone's property through eminent domain. We've had a few situations where the person's paid back the full assistance and they would once again be eligible for the program.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Fisherman.
I want to thank you for getting back with me so soon on the lady that needed help that I referred to you on. That was very, very quick.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Councilor Friedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Shay, this on this foreclosure report, we've got some categories of county and foreclosure notice received, date assistance received, type of assistance, and so on. The last column over there says amount due Cherokee Nation.
Right.
My understanding is we don't get to collect that. Is that true? Or pretty much?
Pretty much. If there's
Okay.
anything left over after the first mortgager is paid off and the attorney's fees are paid, then the Cherokee Nation would pursue that. We would try to get that back out of the sale, but typically what happens is there's nothing left. After the first mortgager is paid and the attorney's fees are paid, there's typically nothing left for Cherokee Nation to collect.
Oh, sure. So we could almost rename that last column as amount written off by Cherokee Nation or lost by Cherokee Nation?
In essence, because it's not, we don't pursue, the Cherokee Nation doesn't actively pursue those funds from recipients. Now, what would happen is if they again applied for some type of assistance from the Cherokee Nation, we might would say, hey, you owe the Cherokee Nation $5,000 or $11,000 or whatever it is, but we don't actively pursue it.
The title at the top of it, I mean, the heading is, it's like we're expecting to get paid for whatever. And,
right.
And historically, we're not, probably, so.
That's true.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions for Shay? Shay, anything coming up that you want to make announcements to? Or?
No, you should have a copy of our report, and if there's anything you'd like me to address in that, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Shay. Good report. Okay, moving on to old business, I see none pending. Moving on to new business, the resolution authorizing the Department of Children, Youth, and Family Services to submit an application for funding to the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs for Emergency Youth Shelter Services and Prevention and Diversion Services. There a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion been made and approved. Any discussion on this? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Any announcements? Anybody have any announcements they'd like to make? If not, the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 12th at 10 a.m. And I thank everyone for showing up for the meeting today. Here a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.